when you say all is well, this is what that means. ALL, the absolute law of love, which is the source of creation, which is love. You are saying that the absolute law of love is IS, which means gives birth to the infinite source. So the absolute law of love gives birth to the infinite source, which we all carry a little piece of God within us. Well, so the infinite source welcomes every living being as light. So when you say all is well, let's bring it all together. The absolute law of love gives birth to the infinite source within us, welcoming every living being as light. So all is well is the highest blessing you can offer. And that's the first word you say to your children. And in that, you activate their code and remind them of who they are. That's our greatest gift as a parent. If you are a parent, the greatest gift you can give your children is to remind them who they are. They are loved. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming and supporting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's right. What you got to say? Beat that.
That's so ignorant.
She already not beat that. She meant that. That's great. The one who made the cobbler.
The cobbler. Thank you. It's gone.
It's gone. It was.
Thank you so much.
So awkward, but I'm so happy to
It's so awkward.
have this opportunity to outdo.
Don't listen to Ryan.
Yeah, don't listen to Ryan. Pay no attention to Ryan. Thank you for that wisdom. We really appreciate it. I totally believe in that. And you know, one of the questions, I mean, when you were asking, I thought you were basically stating, you're asking, like, what does Benita say to her children? Like, one of the first things. And I was thinking of it as more of a question, but I think you ended up saying exactly what I was thinking in regard to conversations that Benita and I have had. I met Benita and Ryan through PAC, Parents of African American Children. And we get together for play dates and various activities. And Benita and I have had a lot of conversations about parenting and, you know, how to balance motherhood and being a wife and all of these great things that we have, you know, decided to do in our lives. And we've had a lot of conversations about parenting. And I actually thought the question would be, who are you? And the reason for that is because Benita and I have had these conversations. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? I'm really loud.
You're competing with the woman.
Oh. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I talk fast too from Louisiana. We've had these conversations about parenting, and I thought the question would be, who are you? Because Benita and I have talked pretty extensively about the importance to us of us accepting, not deciding. I mean, as parents, we all have dreams of who we want our children to be, what we want for our children, which is a beautiful thing. We believe in our kids. But sometimes we sort of place too many expectations on our children, our own expectations, our own dreams that we didn't fulfill. And sometimes we make mistakes and we harm our children unintentionally. And so we've had a lot of conversations about accepting who our children are, you know, being open to them being different from us, having different temperaments, having different personalities, having different ways of learning, of experiencing life, and being open and spiritual in our approach to parenting, getting back to that conscious parenting, being spiritual in our approach to raising our children and being accepting of who they are and acting as guardians and guides, as opposed to people who are trying to make our children into who we want them to be. Because when we put our kids in a position of suppressing their nature and who they are, you know, they need to express themselves, you know. They need to express themselves in some way, and oftentimes it ends up being in a very unhealthy way. So how can we honor our children's spirits and who they are to express themselves in the world and help that blossom and help that develop? And so I try to remind myself when I feel very frustrated as a parent because my kid is not doing what I want them to do when I want them to do it, which I do believe is discipline. Asking myself or reminding myself or asking my child, not directly, but in my own way of praying, who are you? God, help me to recognize you in my child, trying to express yourself in some way. And help me to honor that and to guide this little person who's trying to figure out their way in the world. I really appreciate that about Ryan and Benita. I can't tell you how many times I've bumped into Ryan outside having a conversation with Jackson. And I can't tell you how much I've really been impressed by things that Jackson has said when Ryan is not around that really shows the time and effort and discipline and conversations that he has with his dad. That goes a long way because teaching your kid, this is turning into a lecture, I'm going to stop.
No, you're good.
Benita's friends talk a lot. Okay? Teaching your kids, like, you know, like how to think for themselves,
That's
like, you know,
great.
how to like find their way in the world when you're not there. It's like, you know,
That's
what I
big. It's a big
really,
deal.
really try to do as a parent. I really respect that
Thank you
about
so
the way
much, Desiree.
Ryan and Benita are raising their children to think for themselves, to manage themselves in the world, and to be
Trying.
the best people that they could be.
Aw.
So I'm so glad to be a part of your life. And thank you for coming out, you know, with the Academy Award music and giving me a hug. So I'm gonna sit down now.
No, that wasn't it.